Good evening, my dear friends. I welcome you all to the Hindu and Businessline Editorial Analysis on June 14, 2022. What is in store for today? The first one I am going to discuss is about the Shangri-La Dialogue. The Shangri-La Dialogue is being sponsored by the International Institute of Strategic Studies, and the Shangri-La Dialogue discusses the issues of cooperation on defense and security issues. 28 countries take part in the Shangri-La Dialogue, and this year's Shangri-La Dialogue was held, and the editorial discusses about the spat of words between the Chinese foreign minister, the defense minister, and the US defense minister in the Shangri-La summit. Friends, with the help of a diagram, I will explain the Shangri-La dialogue and what was going on in the Shangri-La meeting. Come, let us discuss. Friends, as can be seen from the image, the 2022 Shangri-La dialogue is for discussing security challenges facing Asia Pacific. The Asia Pacific region is the region around the Pacific Ocean. It contains the Southeast Asia and the China and some islands of the United States of America and the Australia. 28 countries have assembled together to discuss the security challenges facing Asia. Friends, as can be seen from the question in the image, which country is the host of Shangri-La Dialogue, that is Asia Security Summit? The 19th Shangri-La Dialogue, hosted by International Institute for Strategic Studies, was commenced in Singapore. It has been held 2 years after the COVID-19 pandemic. Hence the significance of this summit. In the summit, the Galvan Valley was discussed, and the US is warning China of the tensions along the line of actual control. Look at this beautiful hotel in Singapore. This is the Shangri-La Hotel and is the location and the venue where the Shangri-La Summit is being held. This year also Shangri-La Summit is held in this hotel. In the Shangri-La Summit, in its reply, China made a veiled reference to the Quad. Quad is the just summit of 4 countries. The countries are India, USA, Japan, and Australia. This Quad summit or the Quad coalition being formed to counter China in the South China Sea and the Indo-Pacific region. China has referred the Quad as the other Asian NATO. This is very much interesting, my dear friends. Friends, the next article I am going to deal with is the influenza pandemic and the nations within a nation. The 2009-10 H1N1 influenza prompted many multinational enterprises to produce the prophylactic products. The prophylactic products are the vaccines which are injected or used by people now for benefits to be accrued in future. The multinational enterprises had its footings in developed economies because the developing nations never wanted multinational enterprises to develop the market for prophylactic products or vaccines in developing economies. What is the reason? The regional disparities and the disparities in the federal structure that led to the prophylactic products being produced by multinational corporations finding no market for it in developing nations. The concept of the article is that the nation within a nation, that is, some states within the federal structure preferred the multinational enterprises supplying vaccines, and some states never preferred. This is the disparity. Come, let us discuss with the help of a picture what is this prophylactic products is all about. As can be seen from the definition in the picture, prophylaxis is the production of vaccines or measures taken to prevent disease and preserve the health of individuals or communities. The COVID-19 vaccines are a great example of prophylactic medicines, vaccines. So, I hope you understand the meaning of prophylaxis. Friends, the next article I am going to discuss it with regard to the global food price rise increase. Due to the war in Ukraine, the global supply chains have been broken and there is a very huge rise in the prices of food grains. The wheat supply has been disrupted because Ukraine produced the half of the wheat the world consumed. The supply disruptions are causing the food prices to rise because most of the food consumption, the demand, is being satisfied by the global trade in food exports and imports. The wheat, the rice, the maize, all these grains require global trade to supply them. The wheat from export from India is closer to 1% of the global consumption. The article points out that after the Green Revolution, there have been three food shortages and price rises. The first one was in 1973 to 76. The second one was in 2007 to 2012. And the third one is now, that is in 2020. The article says that fertilizer prices have increased, the shortages in global trade supply has contributed much to the food price increases, and then there is the diversion of oil to some biofuels manufacture. All these factors have contributed to the food price increase. Friends, let us understand with the help of a picture what is this food crisis and how the world has experienced three food crises in the previous century and the present century. As you can see from the graph, the 1961 the food prices were touching a little above 100. The food price index then rose somewhat up to 110 in 1965 and then eased to below 100 just before 1971, and suddenly after 1971 in 1972, 73, 74, 75, 76 it rose to the highest level of more than 130 to touch 140, and then after that again decelerated and it came down and down and down, and in 1985 it was somewhat at a very comfortable level. It then again arose just by step and step by step, and then there was some increase in 1997, a very small increase, Then again it got decelerated, and then it began to rise. And when it reached 2007, it again reached the 110 mark, and it was comfortably sitting between 110 and 120. And then it again fell in 2009, and it rose again. So there was a continuous rise for so many years. Friends, the next article I am going to discuss is from the Businessline. It discusses the minimum support prices on oilseeds and pulses have been raised by the central government in order to increase the agriculture and cultivation of the oilseeds and pulses. And the agriculturalists have responded very much encouragingly, and the oilseeds and pulses production has increased by manifold. So the what is the advantage of encouraging the cultivation of oilseeds and pulses, my dear friends? The oilseeds and pulses, unlike wheat and rice, consumes a lesser and lesser amount of water. So the rain-fed regions, if they can produce wheat and rice in a very encouraging manner, but the non-rain-fed regions can produce this oilseeds and the pulses in a grand scale. This is the encouragement being provided for the production of oilseeds and pulses by the central government, union government. Friends, with the help of a diagram, we let us understand how this MSP is being fixed. Friends, as can be seen from the picture, the oil seeds consist of 7 varieties of oil seeds: groundnut, rapeseed or mustard, the tula, sunflower seed, and nagar seed. The oil seeds are being procured by the central government. As can be seen from the picture, the minimum support price is being fixed by the central government on the recommendations of the Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices. Therefore, the central government, on its recommendation of CSCP, fixes the minimum support prices for oil seeds, is what it can be seen from the picture. As seen in the picture, Food Corporation of India is the nodal agency along with state agencies which undertake procurement of crops. The final decision on MSP is decided by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. The Union government takes a final decision on the level of MSPs and other recommendations made by the CSCP. Thank you.